Now let's start with adverbs of frequency. Now children, adverbs of frequency are also called how often adverbs. Okay? Now, an adverb of frequency, it tells how often or how frequently an action is done. Okay? An adverb of frequency tells us how frequently or how often an action happens. Okay, children? Now, look at this sentence. Grandmother sometimes tells fairy tales. Now, children, if I ask the question, how often or how frequently does grandmother tells fairy tales? The answer will be sometimes. Okay? So, sometimes is an adverb of frequency. Okay? It tells us how frequently an action happens. Alright? So children, adverbs of frequency tells how frequently or how often something happens. And adverbs of frequency answers to the question how often or how frequently. Now look at the next sentence. He never comes to the class late. Now children, in this sentence, comes is the verb and describing the verb comes is the word never. So never is an adverb. And if I ask the question, how frequently does he comes to the class late? Or how frequently does he comes late to the class? The answer will be never. So never is what? Never is an adverb of frequency in this sentence. Alright? Next sentence is, we always go for a morning walk. Now again, if I ask you the question, how frequently or how often do we go for a morning walk? The answer will be always. So always is what? Always is the adverb of frequency. Okay? So children, in these three sentences, sometimes, never, and always are the adverbs of frequency because they tell us how often or how frequently certain actions are done. Okay? Now children, do you know where are adverbs of frequency placed in a sentence? Adverbs of frequency are placed before the verb if it is a one-word verb. Okay, so if the verb is one word, then the adverb of frequency is placed before the verb. Like here you can see, he never comes late. Comes is the verb in this sentence and the word never is what? It is the adverb of frequency. So here you can see that it is coming before the verb. Okay? And remember that here the verb is one word verb. ठीक है? So जब if like verb is one word, then adverb of frequency will be placed before the verb. Okay? And adverbs of frequency are placed after the first word if the verb has more than one word. Okay? So if the verb has more than one word, then the adverb of frequency will be placed after the first word. Like look at this sentence. I have never met him. Now here, have and met are what? These are the verbs in this sentence. Okay? The verb has more than one word, have and met. So the adverb of frequency will be placed after the first word. This is the first word. So never. Never is an adverb of frequency. So it is placed after the first word. And what is the condition? If the verb has more than one word, like here the verb has two words, have and met. तो आपने देखा कि एडवर्ब ऑफ फ्रीक्वेंसी यहाँ फर्स्ट वर्ड के बाद आया है. ओके, और अगर वर्ब वन वर्ड है तब एडवर्ब ऑफ फ्रीक्वेंसी वर्ब से पहले आएगा. ठीक है. नाउ लेट्स लुक एट द एक्सरसाइज. Underline the adverbs of frequency in the following sentences. Circle the verbs which they are added to. We should always be polite in our behavior. Now, be is the verb here, and the word always is the adverb of frequency. So, if I say how often should we be polite in our behavior, the answer will be always. Next, my father often plays tennis with me. Now here, plays is the verb, right? And often is the adverb of frequency. If I ask you, how often does my father plays tennis? The answer will be often. Okay. Next, missing a meal sometimes is good. Now here, missing is the verb. Okay. So we'll circle it, missing. And sometimes tells us how often missing a meal is good. So sometimes is what? It is the adverb of frequency. So if I say how often is missing a meal good, the answer will be sometimes. Next, never lose your temper on little things. Now here, lose is the verb. Okay, and if I ask you how often you lose your temper on little things, the answer, if I say how often should you lose your temper on little things, the answer will be never. So never is what? It's an adverb of frequency. Okay. Next, they never miss their football practice. So miss is the verb here. And if I ask how often do they miss their football practice, the answer will be never. So never is the adverb of frequency in this sentence. Now, similarly, try to do the next two on your own. All right, children? Now, children, look at exercise N. Solve the following puzzle with the help of the clues given below. Note that all the words filled in are adverbs. I could not help you. I myself had no money. What will come here? Then. Okay, so then is the adverb that will come here. Next, he had no fever. He talked to me dash. Let's see what will come here. Cheerfully. He had no fever. He talked to me cheerfully. Now these two I'm leaving. Now let's look at the next. One should dash talk ill of others. One should. What will come here? Let's see the clue. Second, never. One should never talk ill of others. Next, she speaks English quite well. Okay. W-E-L-L. Well. Next, the ground is slippery. Walk dash. Walk carefully. Okay. Now 5 I'm leaving for you. These two, 9th and 10th, and then 5th, 7th and 8th. Try this on your own. So that's all for today, children. Thank you.